Out of all the interviews you've done, which has moved you the most emotionally, whether it was a spiritual leader you met or probably less likely, but a politician or somebody who's given a personal testimony of their war crimes or whatever? What's in your memory? What's the most powerful that's
That's a
moved
very good question. I've had some great, over the years, I've been blessed to have interviewed 8 presidents and so many more. I've interviewed Jackie Robinson and Martin Luther King. But the most emotional interview was with a New York City cop. This cop, we booked him, and I didn't know what the story was. I just knew that he was on the New York City police force and that he was shot in an incident in Central Park, and he was in a wheelchair and paralyzed for life. And he had a little child who he couldn't feel, and the child was 3 years old. And he came with his wife and the child and to tell his story. And his story was that his father was a cop, his grandfather was a cop. He still works for the police, in uniform, public relations for the city of New York. And I said, what happened? He said there was a series of bike thefts in Central Park. Some people were stealing bikes. And he was on patrol, driving in a squad car with his fellow patrolman. And they spotted this black kid with a brand new Schwinn bike. And he got out of the car and was approaching the kid, and the kid shot him. Just shot him. He didn't feel pain. He remembered a puff of smoke coming out of his thing. He remembered falling down. He remembered the ride in the ambulance. They gave him the last rites of the Catholic Church. And he thought he was going to die. But anyway, he survived, but he's paralyzed, neck down. His wife was pregnant at the time, gave birth to this little boy who he's never been able to touch. And what happened was he wondered, why did this boy shoot him? And the boy was in jail. He went as a minor, he was 17, and he was in for attempted murder. I don't know what the sentence was, but anyway, he went to visit the kid. And the kid came out in his cell, and he said to the kid, why did you shoot me? And the kid said, I've been saving for this bike for 4 years. I deliver groceries. I'm an A student, and I finally got my bike. And you were the 10th cop to stop me that day. The 10th cop to stop me. What are you doing with this bike? And then the cop said, I asked him, well, would you? And then the kid said to him, would you have stopped me if I were white? And the cop said he had to think about it. And just the fact that he had to think about it made him understand. Oh, it was wrong. The kid had a gun. It was his brother's gun. He was holding it. Never had anything wrong with him. But here's a kid stopped 10 times because he had a new bike, just because he was black. And frustration ended up, bam. And the cop, this is the part, the cop became the kid's big brother. And he got him out of jail, and the kid became the cop. And then I cried on the air. That's so. I am glad you asked that, because, they think you're just in news and everything just flows right by you, but you cry.